Do you want to know how I stay balanced during the holiday season? Well, today we're going to talk about just that. This is going to be more of an ongoing series. It's going to be spiritual inspiration, and as we all know, this is something that is not always scheduled and planned. You know, when the Lord puts your heart or puts something on your heart, you just got to talk about it. But before we get into today's video, let's look at today's scripture, which is Ephesians 4:23. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. When I saw that scripture, I just think about all of the things that, what's going on in your mind. And basically, I've been told, throughout my life pretty much as a Christian, going to church, and it's just, the spirits and the mind and the mindsets and everything. It's pretty much one of two things. It's either keep your mind on good or keep your mind on evil. So I want to do the best that I can to keep my mind on good things and holy things and righteous things. And, when you have that mindset, it just structures your day. It's kind of like it sets a course. Okay, today I'm going to think about good things. And even when things go wrong, they don't usually hit you quite so hard when you're prepared. The first thing that I think about is, okay, we've got from mid-November through actually the 1st of January. So there's 3 holidays within 45 days. So think about what all is going to take place. Set little mini goals, if you will. And so, you may have a Thanksgiving party or, just the event that you're going to have with your family. Same thing goes for Christmas or, all of the other holy holidays that people have. And then, of course, there's New Year's. So there's at least 3 functions that typically you're going to go to and have, a gathering of people. And then, we're going to have all these wonderful meals. So, and different things that you don't always eat every day. And if you missed my video on my favorite holiday meal recipes, I'll put a link in the description box for that. And I will also put a little info card up above so you can access that easily, because they're my favorites. And you know what? Like any other recipe I do, you can tweak it and make it however you want. So, but the big thing is, again, plan everything out. You know where you're going to be going, what you're going to be doing. So, you'll have an idea of when things are coming up. And again, like I said, just set a small goal. Okay, well, I'm only going to eat so much of this or that. Things like that make it easy to fit those macros into your days. So just kind of, like I've said, I want to get on my chronometer in the beginning, in the mornings, and just kind of log my day. And at least if I know the foods that I'm going to eat, then I can say, okay, well, I'm going to eat X, Y, Z. I'll have this many grams of protein, this many carbs, this many fats, this many calories. Here's my window, and then you just use your best guess while you're at the event. But truly, it will help. I have done that, and when I, again, can plan ahead and make sure I have good, healthy, wholesome food, low calorie, high nutrition content, at least eat during the day, and then you can kind of splurge on cookies and cakes and pies and whatever. And when you're thinking about all of these things, give yourself a little bit of room. We know we're not going to be good. Give yourself some grace. I'm really learning to do that, because it's like, I know this is coming. Let yourself do it. Don't have negative thoughts in your mind. Oh, this is bad. This is awful. No, we've planned for this. We've prepared for this. This is, a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Don't make it bad. The next thing I want to do once you give yourself a little bit of grace is, if you do eat maybe even more bad things than you anticipated, forgive yourself. Get over it. It's not that big of a deal. Keep an open mind, and everything that you're going to want and need and see and love and be there with. It's like, it's only once a year. So take everything with a grain of salt. Just kind of go with the flow, do what feels good. Obviously, in the right context of things. Let's keep it legal, but just do what feels good. And what you'll think about the things that are going to be there, the foods that you're going to eat. If you go to your grandma's house or something like that, we know what grandma's favorite dishes are and what her specialty dishes are and what our little guilty pleasures are. So it's like, anticipate that, know you're going to do it, and then, or know you're going to eat it, and there's just really no guilt involved. So think of it that way. Another thing that I do, and I try to do this all the time because I'm trying to eat less meat and dairy. If I know I've got something that I'm going to and there's not going to be a lot of healthy food, even when we go out to eat at restaurants, I'm really trying to get to the point where I eat something very healthy. And again, get the highest protein, lowest carbs, lowest fats, lowest calories, eat the leanest protein I can find, and then a bunch of low calorie vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, and save the higher calorie foods like the potatoes and corn and sweet potatoes and all that. Make that something that you'll splurge on when you go to that event. So just kind of plan ahead. Again, it's all of, if you know what's coming up and you have good food stocked in the fridge, easy things to get to, or something quick to make, you can fill up before you go, and then you really won't be that hungry when you get there. And that has made a huge difference for me, trying to eat better when we go out or go to parties and get-togethers and different things. So I encourage you to just eat a little healthy meal, even if you get some carrots and celery and broccoli and cauliflower and dip it in some hummus. Make just a bean dip that you make from home. Make it with no oils. You can put a little more water instead of the oil in there, and it's just fine. When I get to my event, I'm going to sit there and look at that whole spread, and I'm going to think, I'll even maybe rate it on, every item, 1 to 10. And 1 is and 10 is go for it. I'm only going to pick the foods that are a 10, because why would I waste my calories on something that probably isn't going to be good? And, look at store-bought versions of foods or like homemade versions, because we know those homemade ones are going to be so much better. So I used to be known for my apple pies from scratch back in the day, like when I was 15, and also my chocolate chip cookies. They were to die for. So if I saw those things on the table, I'm definitely going to grab those instead of the little sugar cookies from Walmart or something. They're good, don't get me wrong, but those homemade items, so much better. Another idea that I have, and this is something that I'm really trying to incorporate every day of my life. No grazing. Don't sit there and, walk around the food table and pick something up. Like they used to have the little smokies and the barbecue sauce, and sometimes they wrap them with bacon. I used to love those things. Don't run over there, pick up that little toothpick and eat it, and, before you've even gotten back to the table. It's like, bring a plate, put everything that you want on that plate, and you're going to see how much you're eating. And then you can also kind of do your portion control, calorie control, if you will, right there on the plate, and you know what you're going to have. And if you have to, limit yourself. Don't go back for seconds. It's like, again, it's just pick, what are the foods out of everything in this spread? What can I, quote, not live without tonight or today, whenever your event is? Another thing that I have started to incorporate in trying to get my walks in every day, it's like, put a few extra steps in. You're going to be going to this event and there's going to be food and you're going to sit down at a table and drink your little punch and eat your little appetizers or whatever, your desserts, you know you're going to have a lot of extra calories and you're not going to do a lot of moving. So plan ahead and maybe, you know, take another little mini walk in the afternoon, or, you know, race yourself and try to get your 10,000 steps in a day or whatever your goal is. Maybe your goal is 10,000 on a normal day. Well, try to get, you know, 1,500 or 12,500. Get another 500 steps in, just something to get yourself going. And you'd be surprised what just a little more activity in a day, how many more calories that burns. And then that just gives you a little room to have those little guilty pleasures. And there's one thing that I am working on now every day of my life, because you know, the older we get, the more we have to do. It just, things get rough. It gets harder. You know, life's too short and the days are not long enough. The weeks are not long enough. It's prioritizing that sleep. And in addition to getting enough sleep, try to get those 8 hours on average of sleep. You know, some do okay on 7, some do okay on 9. Find that sweet spot and make sure you get your rest in every night. But I also encourage you to get some downtime. And that's what I'm still struggling with. I find my, you know, morning devotion time, yes, I'm quiet, but, you know, I'm reading and studying and praying. And, you know, it's like I need to learn to just sit and let my mind do absolutely nothing. Think of nothing. Just, you know, close your eyes. And I mean, I don't necessarily meditate, but maybe it's something I should kind of just think of a blank slate and just do nothing but quiet your mind and just really, you know, put yourself first. You know, this is something that is self-care and you should do it every day. But definitely in this holiday season, you know, there's extra things that we're going to be doing. You know, you're going to clean your house a little nicer if you have company coming than you would you know, on a day-to-day, weekly basis. You're going to be going more places during the week, during the weekends, and, you know, you're not going to have as much time for yourself. So make the most of what you have and carve out 10 extra minutes in the mornings or 10 extra minutes before you go to bed and just really be about yourself. Because I've tried doing it a little bit in the last month or so, and it's still a challenge for me to say, okay, I can't get XYZ that keeps running in my head. I've always heard, put pen and paper, you know, right by you so you can, if something pops in your mind, you write it down, then you can get rid of that thought. So you'll be able to attend to it as soon as you are done. But prioritize just quieting your mind and just give some time to yourself to recharge. We all need it. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about, how I am going to keep my life balanced during this holiday season, is enjoy your family, enjoy the time together, cherish these moments, because, you know, none of us are promised tomorrow. I love when I get to see my family. I've moved several hours away from them. I don't see them like I used to. So my question for the comment section below is, how do you plan on staying balanced during this holiday season? Let me know in the comments below and let's get that conversation started. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for tuning in each and every week, my dedicated and faithful friends. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know you care and show me some of that love. And if you have not already, please subscribe. And if you know anybody who would like this type of content, please forward my video and let them know that we're here. So the next video is simply called In everything. And I think y'all will know the rest. But until then, we'll see you next time. But before we get into so that is my sappy video for today.